Hello and welcome to the first episode of Blonde and Stuff. Episode number 1. We're going to be talking about engineers. But first off, who the hell are we? Do we even know?
Nope.
No? Alright. Well, let's get through it. So, Blonde and Stuff, this podcast, it's just going to be a casual, uploaded, or at least recorded every 2 weeks podcast. It's going to be in the genre of two dudes talking. But we're going to have an occasional guest, and we have one here this week. Say hello, guest.
Hello, guest.
Exactly. So, the name, Blonde and Stuff, it comes from the two hosts, myself.
And me. I'm the more blonde one.
Yeah, well...
Literally.
We're both blonde, and we both like to talk about stuff. So we're Blonde and Stuff. And we also are a little bit arrogant and a little bit strange. So that's where the BS comes from. And really, all we wanted to have for the goals of this podcast is to have a fun, casual conversation, get our voices out there, and just have a fun, strange hobby for this summer. That's Blonde and Stuff, but let's meet the guests. Jonathan.
Yes. I'm not a guest, I'm a host.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Host.
I'm being paid a lot of money to do this. Actually.
All 0 cents.
Yeah. So, my name is Jonathan. I'm also the second person here on the Blonde and Stuff. I'm the more blonde one, as I already said. But I'm an engineer. I go to Wichita State University, also known as WSU. Yeah, that's the common name, I suppose, around local parts. And I'm studying biomedical engineering. It's basically combining medicine, biology, and engineering all in one. It's pretty cool. I like it. I'm also double majoring in math. I'm going to get some math stuff in there.
You're insane.
No, I'm engineering. I'm going to college.
That's the definition. All right. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Topeka, Kansas.
So that's south of here.
No, it's not.
What?
We're in Wichita. It's definitely north. It's.
I legitimately thought Topeka was south of Wichita.
No, it's northeast.
Wow.
It's right next to Kansas City, because you know where that is. It's
yeah.
The Missouri border.
Yeah, it's on the corner, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Basically.
Kansas City, not Topeka.
Yeah, Kansas City.
It's close to the corner. About an hour away from Kansas City.
So it's the capital.
Yeah, it's okay. They have a world famous zoo, but it's actually a terrible zoo.
So you're from Topeka?
Yeah, I'm from Topeka. There's not much to do there, so I came to Wichita to study engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the point of this podcast, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right now I'm hired. I work for NIAR, the National Institute of Aviation Research. Mm-hmm. And right now I'm doing some research with nanofibers. And my boss just got a grant the other day. We're going to be making an artificial nervous system using a special kind of sensor called SANSX sensor.
Cool.
Yeah, it uses electromagnetic waves and
it'll be interesting to hear about when we get to the topics. So all right. I mean, the other guy here, this other lovely voice.
Lovely.
Yeah. Well, obviously I'm not from Kansas because I don't know where the hell Topeka is.
You shouldn't use the word lovely. It sounds feminine.
I shouldn't. Oh. I'm not from Kansas. I'm from Illinois. So it's a little bit different. Specifically outside Chicago in the suburbs. That's why I don't know where anything is around here. And why I generally view this state as pessimistic and solely soul-crushing. My biggest backgrounds probably would be engineering, the Boy Scouts of America, and camp staff. Yeah, I've done a lot of different stuff as far as scouting is concerned. And I love engineering, and I like aerospace. So I came down to WSU. Probably one of the best options for affordable education in aerospace engineering. And in the summer of 2015 decided I'm bored and let's start a podcast. So I wrangled my other host together.
I had plenty of things to do, but
yeah.
I was pulled in anyways.
Yeah, well, we'll have fun.
It's okay. It'll be entertaining, possibly.
Do you think the audience needs to know anything else? Do you have any questions?
No, that's about it.
No? Okay. So that brings us to our guest. We have a guest.
Oh no.
Hey.
Yeah. So guest, who are you?
I'm Theresa. I live in Wichita.
Yeah.
I've lived in Wichita my whole life.
Yeah.
I like it here, unlike some people.
Well, you know.
I'm also going to WSU.
Mm-hmm.
But
what do you do?
I'm studying biology and art.
Yeah.
So I'm
art.
Local artist in the group of engineers.
Mm-hmm. So how accomplished are you as an artist? What can you boast about?
Oh, I painted a 10-foot-tall replica of a local landmark and got paid $1,000. I'm pretty proud of that.
That's pretty cool. Is it on display right now?
Theoretically. I don't know where it is.
They haven't lost it.
So they're a little bit disorganized.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, you're an artist, and in our opinion, you're pretty damn good. We have her on this week because we're both engineers, and we were going to bring a third engineer, and then we thought, well, we need outside perspective. We need someone who's not an engineer. Do we know anybody who's not an engineer?
One person.
Yeah, we only know one person. Luckily, one of our hosts is dating that one person, so now we can just wrangle people in very easily.
That's me.
That's you. That's the blonder of the blonde.
In case it wasn't clear, my hair is literally more blonde. I'm not dumb by any means.
Yeah, no,
as the common stereotype implies.
I like to say I'm blonde, but I've been recently discovering I'm not as blonde.
My hair turns white in the sun during the summer.
I'm very jealous.
I purposely drive my moon roof open so I get more blonde in the summer.
And I'm stuck in an office.
It irritates Nathaniel.
Yeah. Okay, so you're just here to give us some perspective on what we think as far as ourselves as engineers and what you think
versus
are
what
weird.
the rest of the world thinks.
Yeah, you know, when two college students have to think of one person they know who's not an engineer, and they can only come up with one. that pretty much explains it right there. So yeah, homegrown, Wichita, artist.
Homegrown.
Yeah.
Local.
Yeah, local. Yeah.
Let's go with that.
I mean, everybody's homegrown.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
That's a strange phrase.
True.
How's homegrown Topeka?
True.
Didn't refer to me as homegrown.
Well, you know, I'm not homegrown talking about here. I'm from far away.
Yeah, you're home. That's where you're homegrown at.
Well, whatever.
Anyways.
That pretty much brings us the end of introductions. We're not really sure what we should say about the podcast for ourselves. So
more introductions. We should have. What's a hobby? What's one of your hobbies you have?
Oh,
surely you do other things than aerospace engineering. I'm sure.
Yeah, well, you know, aerospace engineering in school, they kind of take up most of your life. But when you're an engineer, you find yourselves doing school and work. Other than that, Boy Scouts. Like I said, I love Boy Scouts. Not. I do scouting. I do scouting things.
Are you sure you should have been working with the Boy Scouts? I don't know.
I'm YPT trained. I know. I'm good. All right. What about you? What's a hobby for you? You do so many weird things.
I do. Yeah, lots of things. I have lots of projects in my room just sitting around.
Yeah.
I like to play with.
You were drilling in the morning the other day.
I was fixing my blinds. They were.
I know, but that gives testament. You're drilling at like 9 a.m. What's going on?
It was like 10 a.m.
All right.
But yeah, I do electronic stuff. I play with LEDs all the time, and if I had my wheel with me, I would do ceramics.
Yeah.
But I don't have that with me because there's not a good place to put it in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of messy. And I could do it in the living room.
Put it in Alex's room.
Yeah, it'd blend right
messy
in.
housemate.
Yeah. We do have one person living with the two hosts. His name is Alec. He's probably still currently asleep due to his work schedule and general craziness.
It's currently noon.
Yeah.
He's still asleep.
Yeah. So
he'll get up in an hour or so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he has work in an hour, so he better get up. Hobbies. What about? Art's a pretty big hobby. What?
Oh, other than art, I like reading about like science stuff, I guess, related to biology. So my hobbies are
reading about animals.
Or like what I'm studying anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I read sometimes.
So what was? I mean, you were trying to think of an egg thing earlier that you said she knew because you guys were somehow talking about it.
The eggs that they're hatched without being fertilized. What was it called?
Oh, parthenogenesis.
That's the word. Parthenogenesis.
Yeah, you should have done that.
Done what?
Parthenogenesis.
It's for reptiles and it's only the females.
Are you saying I was formed via parthenogen? I can't say it.
Parthenogenesis.
Parthenogenesis.
No, you should have known it.
Yeah, I should have known it. I learned it back in high school. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But I forgot it because.
You need I guess that's what other halves are for. So, that's good. Yeah, that's a hobby. Knowing parthenogenesis.
I guess.
Okay. So now we can move on to our main topic, which is engineers, which we two are.
Yeah, I do engineering stuff.
Yeah, we tinker with math and physics. Which do you like better, math or physics?
Math, for sure. For sure.
Physics.
I'm majoring in math.
That's true.
I wouldn't like. Yeah, physics is
amazing.
Physics is applied math, so I would rather learn math.
Yeah, exactly. You get to apply math.
Once I know the math, I can apply it to physics. Therefore,
yeah, you do not know how much joy I will get. I will never get tired of calculating how far a ball should have gone, and then seeing it actually go that far. Like,
I understand that because in high school we had to calculate. There's a small pendulum that swings and the ball flies off at the end. We had to put a piece of tape down exactly where it landed.
Yeah.
And my group, we got it exactly. Even though I almost messed it up with my hand, as I was releasing the lever, I bumped the ball, and I'm like, oh no! And fortunately, I still hit it. It was within an inch, so it was okay.
But I like seeing real things. Like
it was a real thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's physics. That's why I like it. But math. Ugh. Type in numbers, it gets another number. Why'd you just do that?
You don't type in numbers.
Keep going to 0.
Yeah. Or 4. 4 is the magic number.
No, that's like it's weak math.
Alright. Anyway.
Real math, you get long expressions that model real systems.
Yeah.
It's really
Did you see in real math?
Yeah,
That's what you get?
Yep.
I guess. Most people don't get to that math because it's like, why would I want to do more math?
Because it's difficult, irritating. I don't like it.
It's like a puzzle.
But so yeah, I mean that's pretty much why I like engineering. Is you get to solve real world problems with math, physics, science, and then see the application right then and there. And I'm aerospace because all of those things, and then the end result being a giant plane is awesome. Why not? So, but why do you like your engineering?
Initially, I was interested in biomedical because in high school I really liked biology and the human anatomy. But then, I was trying to find something that would contain all of those. And at first, I was going to major in biology initially. Then I found out I'd rather have math involved as well, and so I found biomedical engineering, and that's what I've gone into so far. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where it'll go, but it involves all the sciences basically: chemistry, math, physics.
I was just rewatching the first couple episodes of Full Metal Alchemist last night. So, are you familiar with the?
No, I don't watch shows ever.
Well, I mean, like the hand and the leg, the animatronics, the hookup for nerves.
I've heard something about it because somebody we know, Alex, her sister, is apparently inspired by Full Metal Alchemist, and she was doing a PhD because of that.
Yeah, but I mean, like that kind of stuff. Does that get you giddy and excited as much as planes do for me? Or
I wouldn't say I get giddy and excited. Oh, I don't know if I want to do prosthetic arms or not. I mean, it's really cool. I'm more interested in like doing the number analysis of biosystems, I guess.
Wow, you are boring.
No, it's really cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess I can't say anything because I haven't actually seen it.
It's probably pretty boring.
Yeah.
I thought I wanted to go into the prosthetic development. We'll see though, because it's.
Well, I mean, that's like the stereotype.
Yeah, I know. It's like if you ask any.
It's a growing field.
Yeah,
it's almost solved though, because there's a guy. He's over at MIT, and he's making these legs where people can like. He did a TED talk where they're like dancing around on these legs and stuff. And, like there's something it's called. It's a hand. I can't remember what it's called. Something Titanium X or something. It's a black robotic hand, which people can tie their shoes with and whatnot. And they're implanting sensors into bones already. So.
So how advanced is this nerve hookup?
I mean, you can't play the piano quite yet. You can't twirl your fingers around, but you can definitely do normal simple functions like you can open doors and whatnot. Like tying your shoes is pretty big.
That's actually pretty amazing. I didn't know that.
What they consider to be a complicated task, which people can do now if they get the high end one.
Yeah.
They can always be better though.
Yeah, it can always. It's not quite Star Wars like Luke Skywalker hand yet. But yeah, they're getting there.
How much? I mean, it's a wide range, obviously, of what a good versus a simple one is. But what's the price range you've heard of for these kind of things?
Expensive. If you get the high end ones, like the ones still in R&D, they can get up to $1 million easily. Then you get. That's one of the issues. Most of the ones nowadays, they're really cheap. Like the average consumer is not going to be able to afford a high end prosthetic arm very well. Yeah. Like the legs, the standard legs you see, not the fancy, but the other ones, there's like a peg, all basically with some motors in it. Those ones they cost probably I think like $15,000-$20,000, and then probably medical fees on top to implant it.
A new car, as far as hardware goes.
Yeah.
Is there software involved? Do you have to update your software for your leg?
On some of the ones, yeah. I'm sure if you have better algorithms, I'm sure they can update it. But
Lego OS 10.
Yeah, for now it comes with what it is. They designed the hardware around the software partly.
Just don't let Apple get a hold. You'll have to take your leg into the Apple Store, get it reset. So, what do you think about Jonathan as far as his engineering?
Engineering in like prosthetics or just in general?
Like everything they just said. Do you have any comments?
I was saying, I think the prosthetics at least could always be better, and going into bioengineering is a good idea.
Yeah, of course it's a good idea. I'm doing it.
I mean, Jonathan is pretty smart, so
no,
I mean...
No, I'm not.
Are you kidding me?
There are other people smart.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah. Out of my group of friends, he is probably the smartest.
Nah.
Really?
I don't know.
Whatever.
I'm not going to admit it. I could, but I'm not going to.
Secretly thinking it to himself, yes, it's me.
Damn your humbleness. So yeah, I mean, that's why we like engineering. And I always find this is interesting when talking about engineering. Like, everybody has, their life story as far as careers goes. And maybe it's just because I like engineering, but when people tell their engineering stories of how they came to it, I always find it fascinating and a little bit inspirational. Like, each one's a little unique. And yeah,
I live in the streets, and I figured out I'm good at math.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, not me specifically, but other people.
People have done that. They've been known to.
Standard inspirational engineering story.
Well, basically mine was, I came from a high school that was actually very, very well funded in Northern Illinois. The most funded program actually at my high school was the engineering department. We had our own building, large room with whole bunch of computers and engineering programs. We even had our own rapid 3D prototype machine, the 3D printers. We had one ever since I was a freshman, so because most schools are having a small MakerBot now, but this was a full-fledged machine that I've had access to for a while, so an example of the kind of engineering I was introduced to. And I just always knew that I really liked solving people's problems with math, physics, and science, and then being able to say, I built a plane, and or I built a spaceship.
Have you built a plane or spaceship?
Well, I mean, I've designed a plane. It technically worked.
Did it work? The little balsa one, the wood one you made?
It was one in high school. I took an independent research project. Yeah, I designed a plane.
Oh yeah, the knife plane, is that what you called it?
No, that's a short story that's actually pretty funny. It was while I was testing out balancing for an aircraft, I needed to weigh the front end to bring the center of gravity closer to the AC, aerodynamic center.
I thought it was air conditioning.
Well, you need air conditioners in airplanes too. And so I just got really frustrated, and I stuck the end of a X-Acto knife into the front of the plane, and just out of frustration, and tossed it, and then it flew actually pretty well. And I'm like, wait a second, this works. So I reversed the knife so the pointy end was sticking outward, and a friend of mine at the time dubbed it the knife plane.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, well, we thought it was a very good kitchen utensil.
Stay-at-home
moms cooking, throw up a potato, throw up the knife plane. You got a diced potato right there.
You'd be throwing it pretty hard.
Yeah, well,
It was just gonna,
it has rocket boosters, maybe.
If you could hit the potato, I'd be let alone pretty impressive.
Just embed in the ceiling.
Knife plane, it'll happen.
Use rubber bands and razor blades. That's what we did. We did in middle school. We shoot them in the ceiling.
Oh,
that sounds terrible.
That sounds dangerous as all hell. What?
No, it was really fun because
I don't doubt it was fun. It still sounds dangerous.
At least it was in the ceiling instead of each other.
Because it's the drop tile ceilings are type style.
Yeah.
The ceilings with the white tiles in them and things stick in them. So we take rubber bands and take razor blades and carefully angle them up and shoot them. They would just stick in.
You'd see pencils in there all the time in the ceiling. We had a kid in one of the choir rooms. Somebody was trying to throw pencils up. One didn't land in the ceiling, but rather literally in someone's eye socket and took out his eye. Ooh. So you say razor blades. I'm scared.
See, they're projectiles at high velocities going straight up. So once they hit the ceiling, they stick in every time. It's not... The ceilings, they're only like 10 feet tall, if that. Probably
You're explaining how something very dangerous
is dangerous.
No, I'm sure it's dangerous. Probably no one got hurt from it.
Luckily,
they never returned back down. Is what I'm saying.
So that's my story. Pretty much, engineering built up ever since I was early high school student. What about you, Jonathan? How did you come to engineering?
Oh, I just found it. Like I said, I was going to go into biology.
Did you Google it?
Yeah, I really did actually.
Oh my god.
Well, all my teachers, they kept saying, yeah, you should do engineering. You should. My anatomy teacher in high school, he says, you should look into something engineering. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. In my mind, engineering was just making, sitting with a piece of grid paper and drawing designs. I didn't realize everything entails. Like, I don't want to do that all day, sitting in an office, drawing diagrams on a piece of paper all day. That sounds boring. And then my strengths teacher also, he's like, you should go into engineering or something. I'm like, well, okay, I'll look into it a little bit. So I looked into it, and sure enough, there's bioengineering. Includes everything I want to learn more about.
Your explanation there reminded me of one of my cousins once said something about engineering that I kind of shunned away from the idea for a little bit, which is that like a mechanical engineer in his mind is somebody who just sits at a desk and let's say he works for a microwave company. He just designs a microwave for the rest of his life. And then I happened to be rethinking about that idea a couple days ago, and that doesn't actually sound that bad. I have to redesign a microwave to different design constraints for the rest of my life. That actually sounds pretty interesting. But,
a microwave?
Well, I mean, that was just the example.
They're pretty simple machines.
Think about how many parts are in the microwave.
Yeah, true.
Though.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You get bored as all hell. There's a reason I'm doing aerospace.
There are a lot of parts. Yes, there are.
There's the case, there's a fan, and then there's the emitter. That's the tricky part, the emitter. Making sure it
Think about all the plastic pieces. You have the button that you push. I guess if it's actually like a push
a very
button.
good UI.
Otherwise, I guess like all the pieces to make like the digital type push buttons.
No, that's like a panel of. It's just a small
Somebody
panel.
has to design it.
You really
it's
need
a small
to.
capacitive panel. It's easy.
There's another TED talk where a guy he's trying to make his own toaster. Where you're like, oh, it's a toaster. That's simple.
It is.
Think about how many parts are in a toaster.
But he wasn't using real manufactured parts though.
No, he wasn't. But there's still a lot of parts.
There's
like 144 parts in a toaster.
I could go make a toaster right now in my room with the stuff I have. I have metal. I have electricity. That's all I need. It's a toaster.
It would be pretty ugly.
It would toast the bread. That's the point.
I have never been more convinced that you guys need to listen to one of the podcasts that is an inspiration for this one called ATP, in which a wonderful man named John Siracusa reviews toaster ovens like a madman. Like, the whole UI of a toaster, you would never think goes as in depth until listening to him. It is fantastic. Where were we? Were we talking about?
You're talking about toasters.
Yeah, your story. Yeah,
You're talking.
We got sidetracked with.
You're talking about. You think
Designing
you're
a
interesting to
microwave.
redesign a microwave the rest of your life.
Yeah. Well, continue with your
story of
Your story.
becoming an engineer.
Oh, that was my story.
That was it?
There's not much more else to
You
it.
Googled it? You
yeah,
like it?
I Googled it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, sure. I'll go to this school.
Mm.
They give me some money to come here. So, hey, that'll work. I've been here ever since.
It kind of sounds boring.
Yeah, basically. I mean, well, also...
We're pretty boring people.
I like building things, so that's part of the engineering aspect of it. To design, make things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in relation, we were talking about this a little bit last week. Like, future goals for our engineering careers. Like, what would you say is your ideal job right now if you could just be hired by whomever for whatever right here and now? What would you want to do?
I have no idea. Probably make, let's see, some sort of R&D type position, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know, let's see. I would want to go into imaging of some sort. I really like using microscopes and going on the nano scale. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So if I could, something with imaging I think would be really neat.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, so just the other day I was in the SEM scanning electron microscope in the NIR lab. It's it's not a very good microscope. It's really, it's not super old, but it's really small, and it's not good for imaging nano for some reason because it's old, I suppose. And there's one in the mechanical engineering department. Theirs is a lot nicer, but it keeps breaking. But they bought it. It's fairly new, and then they have to keep replacing like the vacuum pump and some other things on it.
Is it just mechanical issues, or are people dumb?
No, it's the mechanical issues. The thing they keep breaking out for some reason. I'm not sure why.
That sucks.
Like, he knows what he's doing. He's pretty good at it, but for some reason it just keeps malfunctioning.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been using the one at NIR.
Yeah.
Microscopy.
It's what you want to do. I, on the other hand, in my infinite aerospace awesomeness, kind of in the same position. I'm not totally sure. You know, I guess we're third year now. College students getting their undergraduate degree. They're not going to know exactly what they want to do for the rest of their lives. But I'm a Boeing fan. I love Boeing. I know nothing about sports.
Is that like rowing with a bow?
Yeah, quite. I mean, it's in the air.
Oh, okay. I meant like in a river.
Aerospace is in river too. Aerospace is anything through a medium. Could be water, air, space, which is no medium, but...
That's why they have the space at the end, aerospace.
Yeah. Like, I know nothing about sports. Don't really care. But if Boeing and Airbus were sports teams, I'm a Boeing fan. I want my Boeing scarf and my Boeing bombers or noisemakers. I don't know. What do people bring to sport games?
Yeah, and I don't know. Noisemakers.
Vuvuzelas, yeah.
If you're
paint yourself
into
in
soccer
Boeing colors.
or
yeah.
football, as the Europeans.
Football.
Some of them do.
Football.
That's actually more South American than European.
Yeah. But yeah, Boeing would be great. They do things.
Sounds like you're saying bowling almost.
Bowling? Bowling?
Bowling.
Maybe it's my northern accent.
I'm not into sports, but I love bowling.
I actually hate bowling.
Bowling.
Yeah, I'm terrible at bowling. I don't know how people do it.
I can never beat my record of 300. I don't know why.
Lies.
It's just terrible. No, I really can't.
But, I mean, and actually, as far as goals goes, this was an actual conversation we had that we both kind of came to the same conclusion. So we were saying, like, what if right after graduation, a big man in a green 4-star general uniform comes up to you and slaps a big old contract right in your face?
I heard big man. It's like, Santa?
No.
So Santa, commander of the
Commander Claus.
Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
He must be Hispanic.
Oh, okay. In the army.
Like Ted Cruz. That'd be even worse.
Santa Cruz. No.
Anyway, okay. So
What's he
that's a
giving
real
you?
name, isn't it? Santa Cruz.
It's a place,
I don't know.
Maybe?
Oh,
I think
yeah,
you're
yeah.
combining
Okay, yeah.
Place names.
It's a place.
Oh, there's Veracruz.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like Santa Fe, but what is Santa giving us? What is he giving
So
you
big
guys?
big General Santa comes up to you and gives you a big old military contract for me, like designing missiles for the various unmanned aerial vehicles currently in use, which you know, a growing and realistic field. And for you, I'm not sure what would be more realistic, but like biotic arm war machines,
exoskeleton type stuff.
Yeah, Iron Man. You'd be building Iron Man.
That's probably close, or some aspects of it. A lot of it's probably mechanical engineering. But
so, what conclusion did you draw individually when we were talking about that?
Oh, I probably wouldn't do it. Probably.
Yeah.
It's going to be used for negative things. That's part of the reason I wanted to go into biomedical. I mean, I want to help people, not necessarily. I want to restore their impairments, not necessarily blow off their arms using my technology I may or may not develop. I mean, there's no sense. I mean, if there's an imaging type stuff, I'd be okay with that.
Even if it was like some kind of like targeting system or something.
I would design it for use in medical applications. Inevitably, somebody would take it for something else. I'm sure.
Well, yeah. How would you feel about that? Like, let's say you did a lot of work in some sort of imaging field that had no other application, but then someone else derives your work into a death machine of deathness.
Well, at that point, then it's their work they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's so heavily influenced, it's basically your thing. Or just, maybe not even that, it's just tangentially related. How would you feel about your work in that regard?
I don't know. I'm like, hey, it's good work. I got paid for it. I mean, I'm not going to directly develop it for military purposes.
Yeah.
I mean, like, by that logic, Newton made calculus and all this stuff. By that logic, he could have... He's the cause of all wars, ever or all modern wars. Isaac Newton, it's his fault. So, I mean, you can't...
I mean, he was an asshole. He invented calculus at 19. I'm 19. Why can't I be that awesome?
Because you aren't Isaac Newton.
I know.
Go sit under a tree and...
Also, I think he was 20. On that, I always forget the age.
He was young.
He was very young, which makes me very jealous. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, as related, because I began thinking about this. I went to a career fair and was talking to Boeing, and one of the pamphlets they gave me was a pamphlet on the B-1 bomber, which is fairly sure is designed through Boeing. At least their ordnance is, because I was flipping through this, and it's basically just every single page is a different kind of ordnance that can be loaded into a B-1 bomber, and it's just like, look at this colorful bomb, it explodes. Oh, look at this one, it's even bigger, it blows up more, and like, I don't know how I feel about this. Bombs just everywhere, just bombs.
I mean, this thought just came to me, but I mean, if it's keeping American people from not having to go in because if you have better technology, then
true.
Then in terms of nationalism, you should be more willing to develop for our sake than...
Yeah.
We're already way far ahead of like pretty much everywhere else, aren't we?
I mean, the gap in warfare technology can be more easily reached just because of modern technology is exponentially growing. But there is no doubt that with our military might that we could probably win any military conflict at this point, just in the sheer amount of money we spend on it. It is crazy.
As long as there's no nuclear weapons involved.
Yeah.
In which case...
We like to be informed about what we talk about, so why don't we move?
You guys can make notes and then bring it back as a topic later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give us some feedback. We'd be really interested. I'm sure there's going to be many angry comments from both sides about this issue, but we're neutral. We're going to take a very neutral stance and step back.
Until I learn about it, then I'm not going to be neutral.
Yes, but informed. We are informed,
and
but
opinionated.
Definite. Yes. So, getting back to engineers... Theresa, why we brought you on, like we said, was because you have an outside perspective of engineers, but you also have a very unique take on engineers because your dad was an engineer, and you grew up with an engineer as a dad, and I'm always really envious. Obviously, you didn't realize what you had at the time, but what do you think about that now? What do you think growing up with an engineer dad?
I think she realized he was an engineer.
Well, I mean, she didn't know what it meant.
Well, that's true. We're still not quite sure what he does. Like, he goes to work and he sits at the computer. I think it taught me like how to build things. Cause like when I have like an assignment, like an art project or something for making something 3D, it's like cardboard and hot glue. And, like, it's like modular. Most of the time, it's like I'll build it up. Cause that's what he would always do. Like he made like a GPS stand for a GPS.
Yeah.
It's like it's made out of like cardboard and poster board, but it's like really substantial. So it's like, wow, this is so cool. What is it? Like, he made our Halloween costumes and stuff when we were kids. And so everything. Yeah, so like my dad's an engineer, so everything's very like, thought through. Then my mom was a music librarian, so she's really organized, but it's not like as structured as my dad is. I guess it's nice because I guess I don't like engineering necessarily, but I like science.
Well, the creative process, I mean, that's always something that I'm sure we both have liked about engineering is there is some art to it. There is definitely a beautiful solution, as pure science people would say. There's a beautiful solution to a problem in the numbers and in the calculation and in the designing of a solution for a problem. So do you think that influenced your art, his engineering, like your creative?
Oh, well, maybe. I think, like, he likes to draw also. Like, there's definitely like he's the intersection of like the different kinds of creativity. So like I don't know, like there's like fine art, and then there's like.
She's like, I just like colors.
Well, that too.
You are wearing tie-dye right now. You are very colorful.
Oh, I guess. Oh,
and
they're both wearing like black.
Yeah. Well, I'm blue. I look better in blue.
You have black pants.
I look good in blue.
I do. I look better in blue as well. But I'm on my last shirt this week. I still have a few shirts. It's okay.
This one still smells okay. We're good.
Basically.
The smell test. Classic college smell test. So, yeah, the other thing is your perspective on engineers. So now that you've lived with an engineer all your life, and now that you're seeing an engineer, and all of your friends are basically... Yeah. What do you think of us? Because we don't know.
I mean, I know everything. If you tell an engineer something, you have to say it literally. You can't just say, here, throw this away. Just, like, throw it across the room. It's like, I meant throw it away in the trash can that's in the kitchen next to, like, the whatever.
Not all the time.
That sounds like being sassy. That sounds like...
It happens so much.
Sassy engineers.
I mean, we are...
They exist.
Okay.
There's one sitting in this room. At least one.
Hey.
She's referring to Nathaniel.
I've been known to be opinionated. So...
More than that.
And then sometimes you say things, they're like, oh, okay. It's like, everyone knows this. Why don't you know this? Like pop culture.
Me specifically, or
just mostly Jonathan.
Oh,
I don't care about pop culture. It doesn't matter.
I mean, like some things, like you like talk about it, and they're like, what is this? I haven't heard of this. It's like it's been around for like 5 years. What have you been doing?
Like, what are the primary colors? Do you remember?
Yeah, what are the primary colors?
I think you asked me this earlier.
I think you got it wrong.
I did.
There's three.
There's three.
Yeah. Well, you just said 5 earlier.
No, I didn't.
Did I? You said 5.
No, I didn't.
I don't think you did.
I definitely
We'll
did.
have
The
to
three
check the
primary
tape.
colors, not of light, but of like paint. If you're painting,
paint.
what are the 3 primary colors?
Well, if we're gonna do light, it's red. Do I know this?
I hope so.
Red, blue, and yellow.
Those are the other ones.
Those are that's for like paint.
For light, it's RGB, red, green, blue.
Red, green, blue. Right.
That's what like your standard CRT TV they would have.
Yeah.
RGB.
RGB. There's a really good demonstration my high school physics professor did with that I guess I just forgot. But
yeah, so for engineers, you guys like know a lot about your field. Maybe not as much as you think you do sometimes.
Well, do we need to know the other things? Should we care?
Sometimes, not always. I mean, like some of it's just general knowledge, but.
I can make colors using numbers on a computer. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
I don't need to know the primary
not
colors.
if you want to paint something.
Colors aren't even real either.
They're a product of light.
Colors
They're
are
just
real.
okay.
Colors don't exist.
Our perspective of colors is completely arbitrary. It's solely based on our eyes and the wavelengths that we can see. If we could see more wavelengths, things would be really, really different.
Very cool.
I mean, obviously,
like
you could seeing heat and infrared, ultraviolet, all that stuff. That would be vastly, unknowably different. But even if we could see just a tiny bit higher or a tiny bit lower, our whole pretty much knowledge of the color spectrum would just be skewed. It'd be strange.
But the colors still exist.
They still exist. They're a physical, entity.
Yeah,
it's energy.
Oh, yeah.
So, see, this is an engineering thing. Normal people would just be like, oh, I like this color. Oh, this color comes from this plant. You guys are like, no, color doesn't exist because it's based on our perception.
I didn't say that. Color definitely exists. That's him.
Oh, well, that was my
trying
existential statement of the day.
Philosophical over here. Yeah, I don't need to know the primary colors because I know the whole spectrum of UV or not UV, the visible light.
I guess for your
it
engineering, doesn't
that's
matter.
easy.
Yeah, but I guess you don't have to know which colors look good together, or if you mix
Are
this
you
color.
kidding me? Have you seen me dress?
Everything you wear is neutrals to blue
exactly.
green.
It looks good.
If I didn't know any better, I'll be wearing lime green shirts with royal blue shorts.
The only one we know that can pull off purple and is male is our good friend Joe. Hopefully he'll be on the podcast. But he's the only one of us that actually knows colors.
I know colors.
You just said that you don't need to know colors.
No, you just said your clothing is consistent of very
neutrals.
Because I look good in neutral colors.
Yeah, we look good. We're the only ones that can.
I don't like bring vibrant, bright colors. Yeah. Doesn't match me.
Oh, that's true.
Doesn't.
He also can't pull off earrings. We tested this out earlier.
What? This is.
I told you I wouldn't be able to. She has the cuffs.
Clip-on earrings. Yeah.
Things that wrap around your ear. I was just sitting there and she's like, hold on. Puts it on. I go, oh, okay, whatever.
Sounds like an abusive relationship. Maybe you should get out.
Nah.
I'm trapped.
You have to tell us things very literally, and we take a very scientific view on things. What else?
I'm trying to think of like the engineers in general.
We have great senses of humor.
Sometimes everything comes back to like whatever it is you're interested in. So like airplanes or like you know, just like talking and like launch into like and differential equations the other day. And the teacher was doing this. And
I will never launch into a conversation about differential equations.
Okay, that's just an example class. That was the first thing that came to mind.
But
things like that where it's like I don't know what's going on. Everyone else does. They have this class, but that's not a problem in the everyday world because it's not like a giant world of engineers with like a minority of everyone else.
Yeah. So why don't we think of positive and a negative spectrum here? What is probably, your opinion, the greatest thing about an engineer? Give an example. And probably the worst thing about an engineer, and give an example.
An example right here.
Well,
of both? The greatest and the worst thing?
No. Probably the greatest thing.
Okay, I think the best thing probably about engineers is like if you give them a problem, they'll work on it until it's like finished.
Mm-hmm.
But then the worst, well, like an individual engineer, if you have like a group of engineers.
The group of them, like the concept of.
A concept of engineers. Yeah. The worst thing is if there's a problem and there's more than one engineer, everyone's, wait, let me see it, let's try this, did we try this, push this button, no, I already pushed that button, no, push it again, it's like, just, this isn't working. It's a general thing. It may not be that bad, but if there's multiple engineers and like something's not working, everyone will try the same thing. So it's like pushing this button. It's like this isn't working. Hand it to the next engineer. Oh well, did you try this? And it's still not working. So
because sometimes people don't push the button correctly.
Yeah, the buttons need to be pushed in the exact right manner, specifically and with
like,
intent.
Only this person
sometimes
can
you
do
really
it.
have to wiggle it around a little bit and try it again.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
We're good at pressing buttons.
Do it all
I
the time.
know.
Look at me weird.
So yeah, that group mentality. When you say that, I like to think I'm a little bit better with it because I've had so much experience with scouting, and what I think that boils down to is a leadership issue because a whole bunch of engineers will just, I can solve this.
If it's structured, like everyone has something to do, then it would be okay, but just in like everyday situations where it's like, oh, the TV isn't connecting to the computer, like my printer's not working, then it's all up in the air for...
Because there's lots of solutions.
Yeah. Many solutions to one problem.
If someone knows what the problem is.
Yeah, you figure out the problem is. It's troubleshooting. That's the whole point.
Okay.
That's why you need several viewpoints.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
True. And then I realized we just justified as engineers why, in your opinion, the worst point about engineers. We just tried to justify, so.
Well.
Solving problems skillfully.
Yeah, we're awesome. We can do it.
I'm pretty sure engineering managers, they get paid more than actual engineers.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah,
the engineering wranglers. That's what they should be called.
Well, no, like the project manager type people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you seen Dilbert?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched all the episodes.
Oh,
also,
so good.
I've read several of the comics.
They really need to continue that series.
It was out in the 90s, wasn't it? Or early 2000s?
Yeah, around there. Yeah. That's what
old,
the art style would tell me.
It was only 4 seasons.
Yeah.
They're pretty short. They're really good though.
Well. Okay, so that pretty much brings us around again. What we, as engineers, what we like. Then again, disclaimer, obviously we don't have degrees in hand. We are not actual engineers yet. We just love the field with a passion.
I get paid through engineering. I have a job. Therefore...
I get paid by the government to engineer.
Yeah, technically so do I.
Well, we're professionals, I guess.
Ish.
Yeah.
Engineering
professional.
students.
It means you get paid to do
something.
something.
Yeah, you get paid.
Therefore, by definition, we're professional engineers.
Well, or is it semi-professional? Because do we make enough to... Because we just work part-time, so we're probably semi-professional.
Yeah, I guess so. It doesn't matter that much, I suppose.
We get money.
Yeah.
Pays the bills. So yeah, as engineers, great to hear from our friendly artist. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this topic and our many differing rants from unmanned aerial vehicles to toasters to color spectrums. So if you guys like this podcast, favorite or something, not really sure where this podcast will end up.
Where it's going to be.
Yeah. Probably on YouTube at first. So give it a like there.
Take the standard procedure of upvoting, whatever it may be.
Yeah, but you guys seen enough videos. You know what to do at the end, even if we don't. So
enjoy
do
it
that.
while it lasts.
Yeah. Where can we find you?
I guess I have a presence on Twitter. It's my username or tag. What do you call it? A tag name, username
I don't know.
on Twitter. I don't use it. But if you wanted to do something with it, J Tweetford, like tweet and then forward.
Tweet or twit?
Tweet, as in tweet, as in like you're tweeting on Twitter.
Okay.
Because my last name is Whitford, so it's Tweetford.
Tweetford. I like it.
It's a pun.
All right. Where can we find you, Theresa? Do you have a website where people can see your art?
I have DeviantArt.
Yeah, what's your DeviantArt name?
Oh gosh, Butterscotch Deep. Good luck finding it.
Butterscotch. I don't think I've ever heard that before. All right, I'm gonna be looking up some butterscotch in deep locations. And you can find me at Twitter at aerospace_ENGR. And thank you for listening to our very first episode of Blonde and Stuff.
Yay!
Song noise. Welcome to the after show of Blonde and Stuff, episode number 1. Our first after show topic. We were trying to think of something to do an after show about, and I don't know how, but we got on the topic.
I brought up the Star Wars movie because I pointed out I don't think it looks very good. The new one's coming out.
Yeah, that's right. We were going to talk about the new Star Wars movie, and then we got sidetracked.
I think it looks really bad
by clones, Star Wars clones, and the theory behind the clone troopers versus stormtroopers in Star Wars. So, what were you saying about the new movie?
Well, I was saying, like, you have the prequels. All this, like, you have the original 4 movies. There's the.
You mean the 4 movies?
Yeah, that's the stormtroopers. They seem like just what?
He's discounting the existence of the new ones.
Oh yeah,
or rather, yeah. The 3 movies going to be 4. Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, the 3 movies. Anyways, whatever. Yeah. The original stormtroopers, they were just like normal, like just a bunch of different guys in the suits.
Yeah.
And then those prequel things that were made for some reason.
Yeah.
Terrible movies.
Well, I mean,
they
can be justified for being made.
Visual effects are good.
They look nice, but. Yeah,
they suck. They all right.
Anyways, so and those ones, they're suddenly clones.
Yeah.
And now we're jumping back to just some random guy who's in the desert, and it looks like it's from Spaceballs.
True.
The parody of Star Wars. And it just looks really. He pops up in the background, looks very fake.
Yeah, I think I thought about that at some point, but now you bring it up, it reminds me. I definitely have had that thought before. But I think to help explain the story behind what you said was. And I mean, pretty much everything you said was right, but when George Lucas was trying to think of how to explain a army of, look-alike-ish troopers of some variety...
It's called a uniform. Every army has them.
Yeah, well, I don't know why he thought of clones. And you know what? Actually, I don't mind it as a principal idea. Like, just by itself, it's pretty good. It's not a very good explanation for the army. But I'm thinking, based on what I happen to know about the lore behind it, is that the clone army, over the course of the several years after Episode 3, obviously people die in the world. It's sad. But these clones died, and they had to replenish their army, and so they had a general standing, recruitment and training army afterwards. And now, there might be some clones out there, but they're probably just all... recruitment stuff. So
I guess so.
Yeah, but I mean, are you okay with that, or?
Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, there's just plot inconsistencies between the films.
Well, definitely.
Aren't there different directors though? Like,
it's been George Lucas all the way.
The whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not anymore. Thank God.
Not anymore. He's finally out.
Yeah.
He lost a new vision.
Well, poor George Lucas. I mean,
he gets a lot of crap.
He gets so much crap.
He's founded like George Lucas, like his whole company, and then he's part of like ILM, Industrial Lights and Magic. They do all kinds of special effects for like everything. So he's done good for himself.
But his directing ability,
how bad of a director
and his vision for
movies. I think it's more his writing, because I mean, you've seen the Red Letter Media reviews. Yeah,
that's what turned me against George Lucas so much. I realized.
I think once you watch those, there's no going back.
Yeah.
If having a negative opinion about George Lucas, but he just. And I think it was an ATP episode that I was listening to. Maybe it was a Rocket episode, two podcasts that I listened to. They actually have George Lucas on quote during the prequel, or during the original movie times. He said, "I'm not a good writer at all. And then you go to like the new ones where he's like, I wrote this script, it's done, it's great, rah. And then you have people sitting on couches for 15 minutes.
Yeah. Number 2, the Clone Wars.
So much couches.
Yeah.
Very nice couches.
Yeah, if you haven't watched the Red Letter media reviews, watch
do
them.
it. They're longer than the movies.
Mr. Plinkett.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
fantastic.
I mean, there's that.
They're longer than the movies?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
You haven't seen them?
No.
They're really
Well, I
entertaining.
mean, I don't know. We're going back to engineers and the things that we like. I'm not sure you could.
I mean, I could watch Star Wars. I could watch the reviews. I haven't.
Yeah.
I've been doing other
Wait,
things.
you have seen Star Wars though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mostly just the one with the Ewoks. But I was like 10.
The one with the Ewoks.
That
Return of
was
the Jedi?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the one we watched the most.
It's where he kills. Yeah, that's the last one, isn't it? In the
Yeah,
original,
the last
original set.
arguably the one that forebodes the
newest
most.
one coming out.
Well, no, it there's Lucas examples of going bad in Return of the Jedi with the Ewoks and some plot and the re-releases. So much sadness. Why do we care so much? I don't know.
I mean, I don't really. It's just
Yeah,
it's a fact.
It's a
there.
fact. It's a nerdy thing. We like it. Well, all right. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome. I guess I'll be here more often.
True. I hope you're the host.
Yeah.
I
And
might
I'm
be
a
back,
host.
I don't know.
See you,
You're a
chumps.
guest.
I'm out.
Yeah.
If I had a mic,
Okay, okay.
if I had a mic, I would drop it.